Hey guys, how you doing? I am well, it's Steve, and you know how it is. It's lunchtime, so it's another great episode of Lunchtime Talk with Steve. And I'm here today with Makeeba Jane, and we're going to talk about some of the things that some of the businesses that are needed in our community, in the Black community, regardless of where you are in the world and where you are in the country, in the United States. Because no matter where I travel to, I see the same businesses that are lacking, and I see the same issues going on. So let's go ahead and bring Makeeba in. Well, actually, let me run the intro first. So we're going to bring her in. This is going to give you guys a chance to share the link with your friends, your relatives, your favorite group, all these different good things. All right, let's make this happen. Let me tell you about CCTV RX. With over 30 years in the security industry here in South Florida, they have proven themselves to be the first choice when it comes to security professionals. So whether you're trying to secure your home or your business, there's no other choice. Give them a call today for a free estimate.
To be more tech savvy, create your own compelling graphics, sales pages, and marketing tools? Would you like to effectively use social media to generate more leads? If the answer is yes, register for one or all of the 8-module digital marketing series. You will feel comfortable in a judge-free, nurturing environment as we get the work done. My name is Makeeba Jane, and I am your tech trainer.
If your car could talk, it would say call Curvin's Car Detailing Service. It's mobile and they can come to you no matter where you are in Broward County. Give Curvin a call, 954-549-8507, and tell him that Steve sent you.
You take me there. I want some real good food to eat. I want shucking and jiving, shucking and jiving. I want shucking and jiving, shucking and jiving, shucking and jiving. I want shucking and jiving.
Well, I know I got what you want. I know you like that diamond shrimp. My son, the fish, and them geechee grits. My granddaddy make you have a fit.
Right on.
I try to give you all of my best. I do it straight from the heart, cooking straight.
That's what it is. Come on down and shuck it and jive and Cajun food with an old school groove. Our designers to get your taste palette back in line, baby. Follow us at We Shuck It.
All right, so we're back, and as I promised, we're gonna have Makeeba Jane on with us, and there we go. Makeeba, how you doing?
I'm sharing out the link. Let me hit share one more time. How y'all doing today?
That's good. Oh, I'm doing awesomely awesome, So let's just jump right into this, because one of the things, and I've traveled so many different places around the U.S. and different, different areas, and one of the things I realized, no matter what I do, no matter where I go, there's the same kind of businesses lacking in the Black communities, no matter where you go. I don't care if you're in LA, if you're in Chicago, if you're in Nashville, if you're in New York. I mean, it's like you'd find 100 check cashing stores, but it's hard pressed to find a bank.
Right. That's so true.
I mean, you're gonna find 100 corner stores and bodegas, but where's your supermarket? You know what I mean? It's like it's so crazy. You go through the flea market, you're gonna find all these people selling you fake jewelry, but where's the real jewelry store, like Kay's or Mayors or one of those? And it's so crazy, because it's not like to say we're not buying the items. We're buying the items, of course,
Right.
but it's like, I mean, so you tell me, what do you think? What business do you think is lacking in the Black community? What do you think we should be looking at?
Oh gosh, there's so many businesses I feel that are lacking in our community. But I think before we can begin to say what businesses we do need in our community, we have to look at how we think about business as a people within our community. A lot of times we do not have business skills. We don't know how to set up a business. We don't know what it takes to run a business. We don't know what it takes to market a business. There's so many things that go into a business. And also just kind of like diversifying, we want more things than like you said, like a chicken stand or a check cashing store, or, we like other things besides that. So sometimes I think when we're catering to ourselves and our community, we're just very limited in the thought of services. And I think, now, especially with what's going on in the world, we need to really think about, of course, from my standpoint, different holistic type businesses. So, when I go to yoga, I want to go to yoga where the people look like me, when we're doing poses that are attached to like our traditions as people. So I want to look for stuff like that. We want to look for schools where, the teachers that are educating our children look like us. We want to shop, like you said, you can go to the Latin communities and find the bodegas. Sometimes you might be able to find, like the only West Indian store I know is like what, Broward Meat and Fish? I don't even know. But,
And by the way, that's not a West Indian store. They sell West Indian products.
Okay,
but it's not West Indian.
So, we got to diversify our thinking. We have to think about what we as individuals consume, and then we have to think about, okay, what is it that I can provide? And I think a lot of times, a lot of people, when they think they want to start businesses, they have these little niche ideas, and they're like, oh, this will be cute if I just do this. But then you can always expand upon those ideas. And sometimes we might be intimidated to do that because of lacking certain skills. So that's just my opinion.
Well, one of the things I find too is that we're so quick to see what someone else is doing that we want to do the same thing. It's like, oh, Makeeba has this, so I'm going to try to do it and see if I can make money too. It's like, okay, well, that may be Makeeba's passion, and that's what she's making money from it. But if it's not Steve's passion, Steve is probably not going to make a dime from it.
That's the other thing. We have to follow our passions, and we have to follow what drives us, because that's the only thing that's going to really get you up in the morning, unless you're just one of those people who are motivated by, your 9 to 5. But and that's the other thing. I think sometimes in our communities, especially growing up, with young people, their parents might have a set trajectory, or they might say, hey, I know like in the West Indian community, it's like, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer. Those are like the only kind of three, or a nurse. Like those are the only professions that are like mean something. So then we begin to doubt our passions, and we begin to doubt the things that we want to pursue, because we have this voice in our head telling us, hey, that's not good enough, that's not going to make you money, whatever. So I think we have to really get back to the narrative of re-educating ourselves and believing ourselves and supporting each other. And like I said, getting those skills, because it's one thing to say, hey, I have an idea for my business, and there's a whole other thing with trying to manage actually what that looks like successfully.
And and the thing is too, I mean, we find that, again, we a lot of people come into our community and make money from us. Whether it's the Arabian store on the corner, and everybody has one. So when I say it, people, everybody knows exactly which store, because there's one in every black community, every block pretty much. Whether it's the guy at the liquor store, just because you see a black person on the front counter doesn't mean it's a black-owned business.
Right.
And we see these things. We see again the pawn shops and all these different things. So obviously, there's business and there's money in the black community. It's just that we're not the ones that's owning it, and we're not the ones that's doing it. And it's crazy because when you do see one person do something, then like I said, it's either people try to imitate them, and then it floods the market. So now, of course, none of the businesses are really going to succeed, because we have 10 people trying to sell ribs and chicken on Friday night.
Right.
I mean, that many.
It's only there's only so much ribs and chicken you can eat on a Friday night, and then auntie might have better taste than somebody else. So it's like.
That's why you do like Chef Tally. I don't know if you, because you're vegan, I don't know if you know Chef Tally, but down in Hollywood, it's a jerk spot, and this guy, I mean, you go out there like Friday, Saturday night. If you go out there tonight, you're probably gonna see 200 people out there waiting in line for food. And I'm not exaggerating the number. Drive by, you'll see. It looks like a block party and it's just people waiting for food. But he's the only one in the area. That's the thing.
Right.
I mean, you're going to find another jerk spot or another anything selling, chicken, ribs, whatever, and they do jerk chicken, jerk pork, and ribs as well. Shout out there to Chef Tally down in Hollywood. But
it sounds like he's doing his thing.
For years, I mean, if you Google it, world famous Chef Tally. But the thing is, if there were others in the area, then it would really bring down his business. So one of the things that we have to do is we really have to try to find our own niche. And a couple years ago, probably about almost 10 years ago, so that's not a couple of years ago, I was up in Harlem, not Harlem, New York, but Harlem, Florida. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize there's a Harlem, Florida. But I was up in Harlem, Florida. It's right outside of Clewiston, just up by Clewiston, on the southwest side of Lake Okeechobee. But there was a guy out there selling jerk chicken, but the number on the side of his food truck was a 305 number. And I'm like, so you kept your number since you moved up? And he said, no, I still live in Miami. I just come up here on weekends because there are too many people down in Miami that's doing it. And I'm like, genius. I mean, like, so simple, so simple.
Right. I feel like for instance, that, as you said, Chef Tally in Hollywood. I'm not sure. But like, say somebody, he does jerk chicken and say somebody has like a really authentic jerk sauce, right? So they could be like, hey, Chef Tally, and they could partner up. Like, we had to stop thinking, I think, too, in terms of competition, and then more think of like collaboration and how you can collaborate and have a symbiotic relationship, because he might be getting jerk sauce from like whoever, but if someone had like a real banging jerk sauce and then they wanted to collaborate with him, that's another way that you can kind of work with the businesses in your area. And that's how we can support each other's businesses too. And then now, not only is he making a coin, but now you're making a coin, because now you saw what he was doing and you added value to it. So that's like, I think, another way that we can start to think in terms of how we can start and grow businesses in our community, see what's already existing, how can you contribute to that,
right.
And
complement each other's businesses. How you can complement each other's business. Because I know Chef Tally down on his area, he actually has Jack's ice cream, which was like a break off of Jackson's ice cream. That was a whole nother story. But Jack's Ice Cream, and they're there on property too, and it's like, okay, he's selling that. You might want something sweet to eat afterwards, whatever.
Exactly.
But we really have to do that because the other day I was watching on I saw a post on Facebook where someone was asking the question, what businesses are lacking in the Black community, and there's so many different things that people were listing. I mean, because when you think about it, I mean, again, you don't see doctor's office in the Black community.
You know.
If we have to go to the doctor, we go outside of our community. So therefore, if you don't have a vehicle, you have to catch 2 or 3 buses or whatever in order just to get to the doctor.
Do you think that that's like a stigma? Because like some people would argue and say, well, hey, I tried to set up shop in my community and then nobody supported me. So now I had to go over here, or I didn't want to be, the Black person, in like Liberty City. They're going to think that my, reputation is like, not solid because I'm located in Liberty City. So now I went over here to Biscayne. Like, do you think that? I think sometimes that plays into it too.
Well, kind of, but also it goes back to also the service that they give sometimes, because I mean, and we see it even if it's not a Black-owned business, even if they work at Publix or Walgreens or whatever, the person in front of you, they're like, "Hi, how you doing, sir? Did you find everything you were looking for? Thank you. You come again, bye." And when it's your turn, it's like they don't say a word. It's like, "Damn, what? You forgot to speak English that quickly?"
Yeah. Or you get such an attitude. It's like,
yeah.
wow. Like,
they just give you the price, $4.95.
Right.
Okay, where's my greeting? How you doing, sir? Did you find everything? I didn't see the same greeting. And many times I've said that I would easily call the manager. "Excuse me, sir, can I speak to you for a second?" Yeah. Well, this cashier right here, I don't know if she only greets certain people that way, but I spend the same kind of money as the person that was in front of me, and I would expect the same greeting as the person that was in front of me. Now, people would be like, "Oh, you got them in trouble." No, she should have been courteous to all the people, not just to the ones that she feel comfortable with. I think your husband's behind you.
I know. He's like peeping in the door. Hello.
Doing the show. Hey, what's up, man?
I'm live.
How's it going? Tell him he could go through. He could go through.
Oh, okay, no, that's cool.
This
All
is
right,
a
black.
private door, so nobody's supposed to be going through it. But
Now everybody sees it.
happens on live, stays on live, right?
It could have been worse. He could have been coming out the bathroom with something.
Oh God, that would have been horrible.
Like we see those things on TV all the time. But seriously though, I think that I mean, we have some businesses that have been in our community for a long time, and again, it all goes back to the way we treat each other, whether it's the customer treating the shop owner or the shop owner treating the customer. We have to treat each other with respect, because the things that we would accept from other people, we tend not to accept from ourselves. And it's crazy because if I'm gonna let someone disrespect me that doesn't look or anything like me, then why am I gonna get upset when someone that looks like me disrespect me? Not that anyone should ever disrespect you; they should never do it. But my point is, you should tell both of them, don't disrespect me or whatever. Because I've stopped going to businesses just because of the way that I've been treated in those businesses. I pay too much or I work too hard for my money to go in and get disrespected. It's like, it's crazy.
Exactly. I think that goes back to, again, like the business skills training. We have to realize that if you're going to put yourself out there as a business, then you need to follow, a sort of professional etiquette, and then you need to train your employees to do so. There's so many stories of people complaining, saying, when I go into a Black business, I get treated poorly, or, I ask for a napkin and the lady gives me a whole cut eye and I don't got no napkins. So the place with napkins was like right there, like.
And that's true. Here's the thing though, that's when we have to say something to the manager or to whoever at that company, because if we just accept it and just go on with it, then no. Because I mean, seriously, whether you go into Walmart, Target, wherever, or if you go to the the place on the corner, if the person treats you like crap and you accept it, then that's your fault. You should speak to someone and say, listen, I'm a customer and that's not the way I should be treated. But as soon as you accept that and you walk out the door, then it becomes your fault. And especially if you go back a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth time, it's like, come on, be for real. Now we're going back for bad treatment. And we expect the person's all of a sudden going to have like an epiphany and say, oh my God, maybe I should treat Steve better. No, Steve already trained that person how to treat you. You know, Chef Jones, Michelle Jones, she was saying, we don't know how to share. We don't support each other. We talk a good game, but we don't do anything. We don't like ourselves, and we expect people to like us, but we don't respect. We don't respect ourselves, and we expect other people to respect us. To an extent, yes, and I'll be honest. And like I said, again, going back to the same thing, when I walk into a to Walgreens, they normally say, welcome to Walgreens or whatever. It's like sometimes they look up and then they don't say anything. I'm like, well, thank you for your welcome. And they're like, huh? I'm like, you were supposed to welcome me to Walgreens. Right. And again, everybody has a bad day or whatever, but you saw me. You acknowledged that you saw me. You looked me right in the eye, and then you just put your head down and continue doing what you're doing.
Right.
It's like, I mean, and again, I might be nitpicking over certain things, but the thing is, everyone should get the same treatment. That's why McDonald's has the best burgers, because every burger is made exactly the same way. Now, some people are going to dispute the fact that McDonald's has the best burgers, but but it's all the same thing. So it's like
burger pie. They got vegan burgers. I'm just kidding.
With that, oh yeah, they do have it, and then they even use the lettuce as a bun too. It's like, it's pretty crazy. I don't know. Laura was saying the bottom line in customer service, regardless of the profession.
Right.
Jennifer Brown says, if Black people ready to do business in Black communities, sad to say, Black treat each other badly, no people skills. But again, that's the same thing, Jennifer. What I'm saying is, we need to listen. If you hold people accountable, regardless of who they are, I don't care if they're Black, white, Chinese, whatever. If you hold them accountable, then they have to treat you better. If you don't, then you're teaching them to treat you like crap. Because if I walk into a Chinese restaurant and I see that the people are doing whatever, believe me, I say something. One of the things is that, like, for example, you always hear people make the joke about when they go to get a pedicure or manicure or whatever, and the Chinese or the women, I don't know where they're from, and they all speak in a foreign tongue, and then people, oh no, we don't talk about you. No, listen.
They're talking about you. They're talking about, your crusty toes and how you
exactly.
You should have came back in 3 weeks, and now look, and they're talking about your ingrown. So they talk about everything.
So the
eyelashes falling off.
The thing is, we would accept them talking about us and go back again. But we won't go to a Black person because we're gonna say, oh well, I don't want them to get richer. I don't want this. I don't want to get. So why do we accept them talking about us rudely in front of us? Because it's like, you speak English very well, because you speak English when you want my money. You speak English when I come in and you're asking me what I want to get. But then all of a sudden now it's what, you don't speak. You can only speak Mandarin or whatever it is that you're speaking. Come on, let's be for real. So if we expect that rude behavior from them, then again, why not expect it? Why not accept it from someone else? And back to my original point, we should not be treated rudely at all. You shouldn't accept it from anyone.
And I think that's the thing. Exactly what she said. It's teach people how to treat you. So that's what you're saying. Report it. But then also, what you're saying is, we do accept this treatment from other businesses, other people, and we might not be aware of it, even though I think it's sometimes very obvious. So if you now receive that type of treatment in a Black restaurant, all of a sudden you're on Yelp, you're on Facebook. Oh my God, I went over here on 100 and whatever street in this business and but you're not doing that when you went to the nail salon and they were talking crap about you.
Exactly.
So you have to, if you're gonna be that type of person, then you have to be that type of person across the board. You cannot just peg and crucify the Black businesses all the time, because that again is hurting the business, right? And I'm not saying, okay, get treated like crap, but I'm agreeing with what you're saying. Talk to the manager. Hey, miss, I really would appreciate it if you didn't do that, because then that doesn't want me to, to come and shop here anymore. Now you're hurting your business, instead of going on Yelp and Facebook and every place else and talking crap about the business.
And that's true, because one of the things, because I would talk to the manager. First thing is I speak to the employee, then I'll speak to the manager. And if I don't see something that's being done about it, trust me, I will be the guy on Facebook. I have been the guy on Facebook. I mean, seriously, I have been. And what's so crazy is the couple of times, there were only 2 times that I didn't get a resolution from at the time that it happened. And both times that I didn't, and I went on Facebook about it, guess what happened? Management calls up, and then they're like, "Oh my God, okay, well, that should never happen." Yeah, but the manager on duty at the time didn't feel that way. And
Right.
One time was a restaurant, another time was a hotel, and the manager on duty didn't feel like my concerns were warranted. A warranted apology or anything like that. And even like the hotel that I was in, the hotel looked like crap. I mean, it looked like crap. And it was we got in late at night, but it didn't look like it did on the internet.
Right.
So it was like, it was already like 11 something that night, and I'm tired. I already drove 14 hours. I wasn't looking to go look for another hotel or whatever. I'm like, you know what, forget it though. I'm just gonna sleep here. It was only one night that we were there. But anyhow,
yeah, and I'm saying, but like some people, they won't report and go on Yelp and Facebook for non-Black business, like white-owned businesses or whatever businesses.
Right.
They won't do that. They'll just be like, "Oh, that sucked," and they'll keep it to themselves, or they'll tell their friend. But as soon as it's a Black business, I just feel like we're so fast to like crucify our own, and it's like, you didn't do that before. I mean, I'm not saying not to do it, because obviously if you don't have a resolution,
do it with
that shouldn't be your first line of getting a resolution.
And if you're gonna call out one, you should call out the others that do it as well. And I have done it. If you go through my Facebook page, post, you'll see where I do stuff. Because first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to the manager on duty. I always go to the manager on duty. But when I find that this is something that's a cultural thing for that business, or something that business encourage the employees to do, then hey, I got a lot of the people know, don't go to that business. And I'm quick to write. And if you see like Google, I think I have like 12,000 points now for writing writing what now?
Reviews.
Yeah, reviews. That's the word I'm looking for, but not negative reviews. Most of them, I mean, like 99.9% of my reviews are positive reviews. Of different places I go, the park, whatever, because you know what, people like to know where they're going before they go there. So if I go to the park and it's nice and quiet and a great place to fish, I'm gonna put that. Nice, quiet, great place to fish, nice to bring the family, whatever, and I'll give it the 4 stars or 5 stars, whatever it is that that Google goes up to. So most of my reviews are great reviews, because most of the places I go to, they're great. Even if I have bad service, I'm going to find something to say about this, about the place, as long as, like I said, the manager or whoever finds a way to correct it. Because like where did I go? Oh gosh, I think it was when my mom was here. We went for lunch or something. But either way, the people gave us the wrong order, and I didn't even catch the order was wrong. No, it was Wingstop up here in Pompano, in Deerfield, and I didn't even catch the order was wrong. The lady called me before I even got home, because I took the order to go. She called me and she was like, I think you have the wrong order. And I was like, no, it was the only one on the table and you guys handed it to me. And she goes, yeah, but we made a mistake and we gave you the wrong one. She goes, we're going to refund your money. And if you want to, you could come back and get your right order and still keep the one that you have. I'm like,
Right.
I was already too far away. I was like, I'll just keep the one that I have, but thanks for the refund. And she was like, okay, no problem. Just come back again. And I'm like, wow, she made a
That's what you have to do
mistake.
in business. It's like if there was something or the customer didn't have a good experience, because at the end of the day, a business is either a business to business relationship or a business to customer relationship. And even in a business to business relationship, that other business is still your customer. And they always say the customer is always right. So you have to make sure, if you want people to support your business, you want people to, bring revenue to your business, then you have to make sure that that customer is feeling comfortable, feeling ecstatic, feeling excited, had a great experience at your business. So if something does go wrong and something does happen, then you have to make, amends. You have to make a resolution. Just like you said, hey, your order is wrong. Come get a refund. Come pick up your order. That makes you feel like, okay, then I want to continue doing business with it. Not like, hey, my order is wrong. Oh, well, you didn't say that. And well, I don't know. And like super attitude. Like,
What gets me is when people have a really bad attitude and you don't own the business.
Yeah, you don't own the business. Like, the business is not yours. Especially like I have a peeve, and this is not like for Black-owned business, it's just any business. Like, I have a peeve when there's somebody who looks like me that I'm interacting with, and it's like maybe like a white-owned business, right? And I'm interacting with you, you look like me, and I'm telling you something, and you're just like, oh no, this is not your business, dude. Like, I'm not saying like, break the rules and just, get
Right.
me because we're the same race or whatever, but just still, like, this is not yours. Like, it just reminds me of like Samuel L. Jackson's character in the Django. Like, oh, like, it's just like, dude, calm down. Like, just get your manager, or if the manager, if you don't want to get your manager because that's going to be something that's going to get you in trouble, then work with me here so we can make amends to what happened. But I hate when like people act like they own the business. It's not even your business. Like, come on, man. Like, can I get an extra bag? No. Why not?
You know what I'm
bag. Like, I have like 18 things.
You know what's so crazy? We had a TV that the volume stopped working on the TV, and it was only, I think it was like 2 months old, maybe not even that. So we took it to the Walmart over here on Atlantic and Powerline, which is, for those who don't know, I mean, that's like the hood Walmart, if you want to call it that. And the people were arguing with us, and you can't do that. You can't exchange it in the store. And they were going on. I mean, it was like, I'm like, wow. I'm like, this customer service is crazy. I'm like, she's like, how y'all gonna expect to bring that back? And she's going on with her attitude and all kind of. I'm like, wow.
And everybody knows like Walmart brings back like everything. So,
but here's the thing. So I was like, you know what? Let's go to the one up in the white community, in the white neighborhood, up on Hillsborough, and over by Parkland area. Went in. I said, we need to exchange the TV. She goes, oh, sure, no problem. Just go ahead and grab the other one that you need.
Yeah.
She didn't ask me what was wrong with it. I mean, the lady didn't ask me what was wrong or anything. She just, oh, no problem. Go ahead and just get the one that you need. And I was like, okay. So I went and got the same exact brand, the same one. So it'd be an even exchange. Came back, and then the lady goes, she goes, oh, as a matter of fact, it's on sale right now. So we can give you the difference in a refund, or if you want to pick up some other items, you can spend the difference. And I'm like, wow, look at the difference, huh? And I mean, neither one of them own Walmart. I mean, none of them, the last name was Walton. So, I mean, it's like Walmart. So I don't see why one of them was giving me such an attitude. It's not like it was coming out her paycheck. And not to mention, it's company policy. She even showed me up there because I told her what happened at the other one. And she said that they'll accept electronics back within 90 days. We were within 90 days. And so I'm like, if that's the company policy, why did the other one not follow that same policy? Why did she give me an attitude? I mean, it's like if you Google fights at Walmart, you'll see how many of them the customers.
I don't even go to Walmart. I'm just like,
it's so crazy.
The thing is, when you like, because you said something very key, and it's like, yeah, exactly. I think you're doing a favor by helping them do their job. It's like when you go, like you said that you went to like the Walmart that would say be, in the hood or the ghetto or whatever. You had to think, and sometimes I feel bad for the people that work there because they're dealing with sometimes a lot of like ignorant people. So they just think that everybody that comes to them is coming to them with a fight. It's coming to them like on defense. It's coming to them with that same type of ignorant mentality. So then automatically they just reproach everyone like, oh no. And like sometimes I'll go into, a place where I have that experience. And I'm just like, listen, I don't know what your beef is, but I'm not that person. Like, you don't know me. I'm just here to do what I need to do. So I'm sorry you're having a bad day, but can you? So sometimes you just have to like turn it around for that person because they just really don't get it. They're just used to dealing with so much drama, so much other people's negativity and other people's attitude that sometimes, you just got to be like the bigger person in that and just kind of help them like through it. Like, this is not the way you deal with everybody.
But you know what? Using that same excuse, if you will, because that's but using that same thing, that's the same thing the cops would say. Well, I treat all of them the same because they're all the same or whatever. No, if a cop pulls me over, he shouldn't be mad at me just because the other black guy before me gave him an attitude. Same
Right.
as if I'm working at Walmart, she should not give me an attitude because the person before me gave her an attitude.
And they shouldn't, but a lot of people don't know better. And I actually had this experience with, it wasn't.
So if it's a black cop, it's all right then because black people don't know better?
No, it's not all right. It's not all right at all. It's not all right at all. I'm not saying that it's all right, but I'm saying like when something like that happens, sometimes, it depends on the situation. You can show the other person. I was about to give you my example where I was dealing with a private Black-owned business. I used them to contract some business that I needed. And there was like a miscommunication. And because of the miscommunication, the person thought like I wasn't going to pay them. And I was just like, dude, I'm going to pay you, but this is not, we didn't communicate on this. So let's now revise what I actually need versus paying you for something that I don't need because the communication was messed up. And then the person came out and like, oh my God, all of you are the same, like just taking businesses for granted, just giving people. Because I guess that was that person's experience. Maybe they had done stuff and people weren't paying them, people were taking them for granted. And I was just like, okay, I'm sorry that was your experience, but that's not how I operate in business because I'm a business owner and I know how I want to be respected and regarded as a business owner. And I respect and regard you as a business owner. Let's figure out, first of all, this is how you feel. So I'm acknowledging how you feel, but I'm letting you know that that is not me. And honestly, because of this experience, I might not want to do business with you again, but I'm going to honor what's going on and what you're saying. And I'm going to get through this part so you can just see that I am not that person and I'm going to pay you and I'm going to, we're going to sort out whatever miscommunication arises so you can, understand what I'm saying so we could get through the job so you could get paid and I can get what I need. And that person had to come back and was like, you know what, I'm really sorry. You were right. I was just tired of dealing with people and I just didn't understand and I didn't know. I thought this was what you wanted. I said, that's okay, but you can't come from that approach and just generalize everybody,
Exactly. The thing is, again, most businesses, like let's look at Walmart, Target, the others, they train their employees how to deal with irate customers. Right. So there's no excuse for that employee to come to me and tell me, and to be rude to me or whatever, especially when that same employee would not be rude to someone else. I was in Walmart again, and
you love Walmart, don't you?
It's the poor man's Target,
Who's coming in here? No, Mommy's on a live show. The whole world can see you. Yeah, we gotta go to Daddy.
Wait, Mommy. Can I do it?
Hey, Mommy's duties come first, But bring her on the show.
Yeah.
Bring her on. But no. I I was at Walmart and there was a guy that was in front of me and he returned a whole bunch of stuff. And no one said anything. And these were chairs that you could tell he probably used for an event and all kind of stuff, and the folded table and everything. And he returned all of them, and no one said anything. The women behind the counter didn't say anything. I needed an exchange, not even a return, but just an exchange. And she had an attitude. And again, I asked for a manager, and the manager took care of it. But the thing is, I do not let people slide when it comes to foolishness. I don't care who's behind the counter. I don't care if you're black, white, whatever, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever. I don't care who you are. My dollar is green. And when I work hard for my money, I need to make sure that when I spend my money, that money is that I'm respected the same as the next guy that spends his money. It's so crazy, you know. Michelle was saying a lot of black people were asking her why is she running against a black man, because she's running in Tamarack for seat 1. And she goes, because he's not the right person for the job. I don't care what color he is, he's not the right person. And that's
we have to get that out of our heads, and that goes back to the competition that I'm talking about. A lot of times we see each other as like, oh, well, I'm doing this, so you're competing, or you can't do that because she did that, or no, we already have a black baker over here. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
you know what's so crazy? Because even okay, like you have a talk show, you have a show, right? And Melissa has another show, and Steve Warner has his on Rock the Box, and so many of my friends have shows. But you know what? We all help each other out. We don't see each other as competition, because like if I have something I'm trying to figure out or whatever, I'll call up Makeeba and I'm like, Makeeba, and she'll help me. And same like today, I needed someone for the show for today, and I called her up and I was like, hey, you want to be on the show? She was sure. That's the way we work. We're supposed to help each other.
exactly.
You know, people always talk about crabs in a barrel, but here's the thing: if crabs in a barrel work together, they can get to the top and pull each other out. They don't always have to pull each other down. So that's the thing that we have to start looking at, and we have to look at it in our community. You know, now if people turn around and say there was a guy on Sistrunk years ago. This was probably about 25 years ago, and he opened up a store, but he said he wasn't selling liquor and he wasn't selling cigarettes or tobacco, because these were things that were unhealthy for the community or whatever. You know what? Honestly, I can understand what he's saying, but my thing is, you got to sell what the community wants. I mean, if I want a Heineken, I don't want to go. If I'm going to drive outside the community for my Heineken, or for for whatever I want, if I want to get a cigar or whatever, you know what I mean? You gotta do what the customer wants. If the customer wants that, then boom, that's what you're supposed.
That same business owner will be mad if somebody set up shop next to him and started selling liquor and cigarettes, and then he went out of business. He'd be like, "Oh man!" So nobody wants to support the black community. I'm not advocating for cigarettes or liquor, but I'm just saying, like, we gotta.
Hey, I'm just saying, like Friday, like for example, I am gonna have my Heineken and I am gonna have a cigar. I will be having that. Yes, my own private happy hour here. Let's see. Antoinette was saying some people don't have proper communication skills. People need proper training. But we can say that, but then again, it goes back to the same thing. They didn't treat the person in front of you like that. So did they lose their skills in 30 seconds?
Well, goes back to the other comment that someone had. Like, we don't respect ourselves, so how can we expect people to, respect each other? Because if we have a poor self-image and we're just like, oh, this is the way we feel, then when we see somebody that looks like us, we're gonna project that onto them.
Right. And I think a lot of times too, what we have to do is we really have to, as a community, as a people, we have to start to realize our worth, and we are worth a lot. We spend trillions of dollars a year, not hundreds of millions.
Not in our own community. That's the horrible.
No, but we spend trillions of dollars. And the thing is, what's so crazy is, like you just said, we won't spend it in our community. Even when we do get out of the hood, or we get out of wherever it is that we live, then what we never go back to help out. A lot of us don't. We need to go back and help out. We need to go back to our old elementary school, because a lot of people don't realize that school that you were in that looked like crap then, it looks even crappier now. So, and then people are like, oh no, but I see these things where the governor gave money to schools. The money isn't trickled down to all the schools. Go back to your school, help out some of these kids.
And that's the thing. People don't want to give back. They're like, oh, that's the hood. Well, that's because you took the neighbors out the hood. Like, you had to be neighborly. Like, and you have to be about your community. You have to be about the things that you want. And you have to show your children, like, hey, yeah, we don't have this. Like, for instance, a couple of my friends and I, we did a show. We talked about community gardening. And there's food deserts in Miami. So what are we going to do that? We decided to set up tower gardens and outside gardens and just flower beds, because we realize that this is a need. So we can do this within our community. It's not like, oh, well, Parkland has this and we don't. They're so racist. Okay, that might be the case, but what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. Debbie Banner is watching. Looks like Debbie's wearing a uniform. Debbie, I guess, I'm not sure if you're a police officer, paramedic. I mean, I just see something, a uniform. But thank you very much for your service. All right. Whatever it is that you do, thank you for your service. Let me change that so I can see her icon better. Yep. All right. There we go. Police officer. Thank you very much for your service, Debbie. But definitely I agree with you. We have to start to do things in our community. Commissioner Beverly Williams in Lauderdale Lakes, she has a community garden that she set up a couple years ago, and she does a lot of stuff with her with the kids in the community from Boyd Anderson and from the other schools. And she teaches them how to eat properly, how to cook properly, how to do all these different things. And we have to start doing these things. Exactly. Debbie said she's a retired police officer. All right. Antoinette says, I agree with you both. I agree with both of you.
Respect. Definitely.
It's true.
And I think too, like, we look so much outside of ourselves for things. Like you were just saying, they set up the community garden. We did the same thing. But you want to set up a business that's going to be viable. Right now, children are home, right? Their parents have to homeschool them. You could set up something as simple as like art classes for children, story time. Take the children, clean up the beach, like clean up the walls in the community, repaint, commission artists. Like, these are the things that we had to bring back value to our communities. So then now businesses will feel better about being in the community. Then you just have a different atmosphere, a different environment. Because, when they come in and they're like, oh, well, where our communities are suffering from gentrification, why do you think that is? You didn't value it. You didn't buy property there. You didn't help fix it up. You didn't put any programs inside of that community. You didn't do anything. So now when the property, and when it becomes undervalued and nobody cares about it, and it's basically rubbish, or the hood or the ghetto, or, I don't want to go over there. And then everybody comes and they buy it up. Then you're mad. No, what did you do to do anything that, like, you don't have to have Starbucks, but you could go make iced coffee and sell it. You don't have to have KFC. You go make fried chicken and sell it. Like, all the things that you are consuming, you can do yourself.
Exactly. And then you could start a nice little business, and next thing you know, boom, your business starts to grow. Debbie was saying she was in the Lauderhill Police Department for 23 years. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine used to be the assistant chief in Lauderhill, John Rains. He was assistant chief in Lauderhill for a while. He actually came up through the ranks in Lauderhill. But we really have to start to look at how we can do business and how we can legally do business. I mean, it's like, okay, a lot of people do just a side hustle, and they do, I sell chicken on the side, I do hair on the side, I do nails on the side. You know what? There are a lot of ways to make that business legitimate and to make money from that business. Like, when we look at what just happened, they gave so much money to businesses that already had money. That's because they were registered businesses. Your side hustle is not a registered business. So when they shut down the city or the county, your side hustle didn't get any of that money that the government was giving out. You have to register your business. You have to register it with the state. You have to pay taxes, and there are ways that you can still make money back from that at the end of the year, because as an employee of that business, you're still going to get a W-2, and you're still going to get your tax return, and you're going to you'll be able to file a lot of the things that you use on your business, so that your cell phone, your business can pay for it, your car, your gas, mileage, whatever. Get a good
Part of your rent, even paying your children who are helping you put the stuff in the mailbox. And that's
Exactly.
going back to the education. And if we are lacking something, sometimes I feel like as a people, we're just like, oh, well, we don't have this. So, oh, well. No, you have to go seek out what you don't have. And there's so many people just, I don't know, like within our community alone in South Florida that are doing the work. Like there's a whole Black business community on Facebook where they talk about different Black businesses they support. If you're looking for a business, you just type in, hey, I'm looking for XYZ, and they'll have like a list of people that you can contact. There's always workshops, business workshops that people are doing. And it's like, just get the information. If you don't know, don't be afraid to raise your hand and say, I don't know, this is what I want help with. And just ask, and someone's going to be there to help you. We have to stop being complacent and just saying, hey, this is our reality. And oh, well, the white man, like, okay, that's not helping you. So
That's like, we really have to get to the point that we know what the problem is. How do we move forward from what the problem is? And that's the thing. We can't just keep sitting down and talking about what the problem is. And okay, well, this is the problem. Yeah, we could
expect other people to give solutions to us. No.
Right, exactly. We can do it for ourselves. We have enough marketing businesses. We have enough, banking. Well, no, we don't have enough banks, but
If we have one bank, and how many people are supporting that bank? So
we have. But there's so many different things that we need to do. Like for example, we have to have people that are listening. You guys should get an accountant. Not just because, see, this is the thing. A lot of people don't realize an accountant is not just for a rich person to help them move their money around and stuff like that. They also help you to, for lack of better words, find some of the loopholes so that you can make some extra money. You can do some extra things, because everybody got a little hustle that they're trying to do. But did you know, like, I'm going to give you a good example. Debbie was saying John was her field training officer when she was, when she first started. Yeah. I'll give you an example. I was helping a friend of mine about 10 years ago. She owned a tax agency. She had 3 offices. Now she moved to Alabama, but she was here she had in Pompano and Lauderhill. But so we went to the IRS conference up in Orlando, and there was an IRS agent that was actually a former IRS agent that was actually teaching this conference. And he was talking about how you can get back more money for your clients and how you can do all these things with your clients, yada, 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 and all kind of stuff. So he goes, how many of you guys get your customers that have a business, a side business? How many of you had them register their business and become legal? And nobody raised their hand. He goes, well, you're wasting money. You could be making more money because it's more to do a business tax than it is to do a personal tax. And then he goes, and your customer could be making money. So then he started to give an example. And he said, let's say, for example, you have a client that's a stripper. Like, what? Hold on now. My ears went up. Let me hear this way. This is a white guy now looking like like Ben Stein kind of thing. And then I'm like, let me hear how this guy's gonna tell me how you could bring that hustle around. So he goes, well, if she registers her name, let's say her name is Diamond and she registers Diamond Incorporated. Okay, so now that's a business. So now when she goes and she gets a suntan, she going to get her go to the tanning booth. That's a write-off because she's beautifying her business. When she goes to get her hair done, She goes to the gym. She goes to get her makeup done. All these things when she drives to and from her the club, or if she's doing private parties. All these things are write-offs. And I'm like, what? So when we came back to Fort Lauderdale, we just started everybody. We were hitting up all the clubs. Hey, listen, let me show you.
Strippers.
And the thing is, and he's right, because I mean, you could do a Schedule C for them, and you could, but there's so many different ways. But the whole point of that is, whatever your hustle is,
Yeah.
you probably can make extra money from it by doing it the right way. Get with your accountant, and see how you can do that. I'm telling you, it's like there's money on the table, and people are leaving it on the table, and then complain that they don't have money because you left it on the table.
Want to add too, like for the businesses who are in the community and they are successful and they want to see more successful businesses in the community, offer things to them. Have a night where they're coming to your business to learn about how to get registered. That's only going to encourage more people to know about your business, right? If they're coming to your establishment. I know it's kind of hard now with COVID and social distancing, but you can do these things like, if, we have this establishment, hey, this establishment on Fridays is going to be Business Fridays, and you're going to come over here, you're going to get a discount, on the same whatever chicken wings and fries. You're going to pay $5 for everybody who comes in, and you're going to get some business education. Now you're actually giving back to the community. You're helping out in a way, and you're expanding your reach, not only for your business, but you're expanding the reach of education that so many other businesses need.
And one of the other things too that people need to start to do, support your local politicians. I'm telling you, you guys, if there's a politician that you guys think that should be in office, support them. Donate to their campaign, volunteer, have host meetings for them, whatever. But support your local politicians. I'm telling you, it's the only way things are going to change. If not, the same politicians are going to keep getting in there. I mean, look how many people you got in Congress that's been in Congress for like 30, 40 years. Really? I don't care how good of a job you're doing. I don't care if you are like the perfect congressman. There shouldn't be a person in there for that long. Because at that point now we need to get new blood. We need to get a new perspective on things. So you could be the perfect person. You still shouldn't be in Congress that long. And we've had a lot of them that were there that long. So we want to make sure that, make sure you guys get out and vote. November 3rd is coming up. Get out and vote, and encourage your friends and relatives to vote. Again, there's a reason why things keep happening, why things don't change in our community. And it's because we're not voting. We really aren't. So the people that are Debbie was saying, Jackie Guzman, and as a matter of fact, Jackie was on the show just a couple weeks ago, and she's running for commissioner in Sunrise, seat D. So if you guys are in Sunrise, reach out to her, talk to her, see what she's all about. All right, because
educate yourself on the people that you're voting for. Make sure that you understand their, initiatives, what's working for you. Ask questions. Like, don't just be like, oh yeah, that person's purple or yellow or blue, let me go vote for them. The blue party or the red party. Like, no, you have to really educate yourself because, these people are supposed to be working for us, for the people. They're supposed to be our voices, our representatives. So if they're not representing the things that you need and that you're looking for inside your community, then you have to either, find somebody else that is, or, that's when you encourage them. Hey, what about this? What about that? Because they might not know that that's a need. So,
and definitely go out to the supervisor of election website. Actually, you could just Google candidates in whatever city you're in and talk to them. Ask them questions, because you're going to see how many candidates out there do not think the same way you think. You have to make sure. And I mean, and it may not be a bad thing for some people. Some people might like the idea, other people don't. But reach out to these candidates. I mean, Debbie's running in Sunrise. I'm sorry, Jackie's running in Sunrise. Michelle's running in Tamarack. You got a whole bunch of people running in different cities. Google them, call them up, ask them questions, have a conversation with them. All right. Don't just vote for them just because, oh, well, it's a woman or the person's black or the person's. No, call them, talk to them, hear what they're saying. Ask them the perfect question, the same thing that people ask them when they're giving them a check. What are you going to do for me in my neighborhood?
Exactly. If you're not doing it, and then your vote matters because it's supposed to matter for your voice, not because it's mattering because that's going to get that person in. It's mattering because that is what you have to use as a tool to get change in your area. So you have to make sure that that person that you're voting for is going to put that change that you're expecting them to bring.
Yeah. Because I mean, when you look at it, whether the person's running for president or the person's running for whatever position, every single one of them want your vote. They need your vote to win. So ask them the questions, find out what's going on, find out what they're there for, find out what they stand for, what they've been doing, all these different things. Because you want to know, especially if you live in the hood. If you live in deep side Lauderhill, which is also deep side Sunrise, because I mean, it's Lauderhill and Sunrise in that area, you want to know what these candidates are going to do for you. All right. And Debbie knows what I'm talking about. If she was a police officer in Lauderhill, she knows the difference between deep side and Inverary and the side over by the swap shop and all different areas. I mean, they're different areas and they have different
Yeah, because I'm sure the people that put up, the whole brand new Walmart and shopping center, I'm sure they had certain politicians that they voted for to get what they wanted, right?
Exactly. Again, look at some of these cities, and you see like Lauderdale Lakes right now is booming with housing. I mean, these townhouses are going up all over the place, but what kind of programs do they have for the residents of Lauderdale Lakes to be able to buy these townhouses?
Exactly.
Or are these just for the rich people that want to come in now and go buy a $300,000 townhouse in Lauderdale Lakes? Because if a lot of people don't realize that they have to follow the trend of gentrification, and they have to follow when these things start happening and you're being priced out of your neighborhood. And I'm not saying that's what's happening in Lauderdale Lakes. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you guys have to check and see what's going on before you start voting. But you got to ask questions. So if anybody from Lauderdale Lakes wants to come on the show and talk about some of the programs you guys have, awesome. Go to the website and I put the website up there. You could go to the website and book the date. But really, we want to make sure that we're not being priced out of the neighborhood. I see so many of these that are going for 300,000, 250, all these different things, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
the people in that neighborhood can't afford it, But yet you're going to see people buy them up and then rent them back. And it's like, okay, I don't know.
The landscape of your neighborhood is going to be changing. And then you're going to say, oh, well, nobody did anything for me. What did you do for yourself?
I look at the Sistrunk corridor right now. Sistrunk is actually going to go through that gentrification again.
I actually wrote an article on that, I don't know, 4-5 years ago. So, and that was taking place. So it's very interesting.
Now you have
Sistrunk, yes.
Yeah, the YMCA is going up there. Then they're gonna have things with Broward College. They have so many different things going on in the Sistrunk corridor, and they already got rid of Bass Brothers and some of the other businesses that were there to build up other things. So yes, anyone that's looking to buy real estate on the Sistrunk corridor is a great spot, because I'm telling you, it's gonna go up.
Actually, the CRA has a lot of program initiatives, because when I'm not doing my show, I'm a realtor, and I was telling people, listen, take up these initiatives, buy this real estate, and everybody was looking at me crazy because they didn't realize that this was going to happen in Sistrunk.
Mm-hmm.
So
Debbie was saying Mayor Ken Thurston, Commissioner Denise Grant, and city officials are working towards a more beautiful Lauderhill. And I remember when Lauderhill was a very beautiful city, even down in the areas where they call Deep Side. I mean, there were a lot of things down there. Those townhouses right on 19th and 55th. Those townhouses, I remember when that was the place to live. Even the houses on 19th No, the other one, 1956, is the townhouses. The regular houses on 19th and 55th. I remember when they built those, and City Hall used to be across the street, and all kind of things. But again, people, you got to get out and vote. You got to get involved in your community. You have to get involved. But anyhow, with that being said, it's time for us to wrap up and head out of here. We could continue this conversation for hours. All right, but thanks very much for being on the show, Makeeba. I really appreciate it.
Having me. Thank you, family.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Again, it's one of those things that we could keep talking about for hours and hours and hours. All right, but definitely get to know these politicians that are running in your area. Get out and vote. You have to vote. All right. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm telling you, you have to cast a vote. So get to know these politicians and get to know who you're voting for. All right. Get to find out some of the projects that are going on in your city. You can go to your city's website and they all have them listed on there so you can know what exactly is going on and follow the trends, because some of these trends, you're going to see the gentrification projects going on, and then you're going to be priced out of your own neighborhood. All right. Anyhow, be that as it may, go to lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com. Check out the Get Help section. We have things on there like, how to get help for your light and rent, how to get the food bank so you can get food from, different places in your neighborhood. What do you call that thing? Oh, gosh. Suicide prevention hotline if you need someone to talk to. Missing and exploited children, because there are a lot of kids that are runaways or kidnapped or whatever, and we really have to go and see the pictures on the website for missing and exploited children. So if you see them at Walmart, if you see them at Publix, if you see them at 7-Eleven, whatever, reach out to the police officer and get these kids home. All right. So there's a lot of help on the website on lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com. I'm also changing up the website, so it'll be down for a little bit next week for maintenance, because we're doing a lot of changes on it. But guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Take good care of yourself. Take care of each other. Do a random act of kindness for a stranger, because tomorrow you may be that stranger that need that random act of kindness. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend. Peace. Let me tell you about CCTV RX. With over 30 years in the security industry here in South Florida, they have proven themselves to be the first choice when it comes to security professionals. So whether you're trying to secure your home or your business, there's no other choice. Give them a call today for a free estimate.
To be more tech savvy, create your own compelling graphics, sales pages, and marketing tools? Would you like to effectively use social media to generate more leads? If the answer is yes, register for one or all of the 8-module digital marketing series. You will feel comfortable in a judge-free, nurturing environment as we get the work done. My name is Makeeba Jane, and I am your tech trainer.
If your car could talk, it would say call Curvin's Car Detailing Service. It's mobile and they can come to you no matter where you are in Broward County. Give Curvin a call, 954-549-8507, and tell him that Steve sent you.
You take me there. I want some real good food to eat. I want shucking and jiving.
is what it is. Come on down and shake it and jive it. Cajun food with an old school groove. Our designers to get your taste palette back in line, baby. Follow us at We Shuck It.
Please visit lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com if you would like to be a guest or advertise on the show. If you're interested in any of the products or services you saw on the show today, or if you would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website, lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com. Thank you.